What's that? It's Pat.
So hi everybody, this is Patrick Argiro, aka Cousin Pat, and I am here with Kayla. I'm gonna blow this. Hracho.
You're close. It's actually Rocco,
Is it really?
but nobody gets it right, so it's okay.
I watched videos of your fights too, but I was focused on the fighting, and this thing is.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, you want to know why I wanted to have you on? Let me just make sure we're recording and all this stuff. I've been interviewing a lot of fighters. Like I've interviewed about 10, and I got another 5 in the bucket, I guess you call it. And I just interviewed Eric Anders. He just fought UFC 263, and I wanted to interview you because I was looking at your fight that you had posted, and you look like an assassin. Like you were. It's not an MMA show, by the way, but I just like people who look like like you seem very passionate about what you do. Is that accurate?
I would say so, yeah. I think I'm definitely a passionate person, and I think it certainly translates to my fighting, because I love what I do, and yeah, man, I'm just grateful to step in there every single time, and I tried to show myself when I'm in there.
And where are you right now? You're in Florida, I would guess, right? Because you're with
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause you're with American Top Team, so you have to be in Florida. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I used to live over. You're in South Florida. I used to live in Miami.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm about an hour north of Miami. In Coconut.
Yeah. I used to drive once in a while. I would. So you train in that big building that says America's Top Team.
Yep, I do.
That's kind of awesome.
It is very awesome. Very, very blessed.
Yeah, you work with I would say you work with the best team in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, maybe some would argue that, but it's obviously a well-known training facility. Mm-hmm. And I saw a fight you did in 2018. It was an amateur fight with Jessica Artavia.
Okay, I remember that fight.
Yeah, and I like what you did because I'm not a big guy and I have chronic back pain, right? And so, real quick, I'm a former homeless guy. I'm going to get to do some podcasts and press and radio and all that crap. But I'm a former homeless guy, blah, blah, blah. Became a therapist. And so I like the journey, the story of the journey. So I had 3 back surgeries, and I can't kick very high. So when I see things like the way you kicked her leg and she fell, or the way Dustin Poirier did that to Conor, those low kicks, I get excited about that because I'm like, well, if you train right, I could hit somebody's calf. I can't kick their face, but the way you kicked her leg, and she just, you just buckled it. Is that something at that point you had been training to do quite a bit?
It's funny that you bring that up because I'm not much of a kicker. I would say that that's probably the one art that that I don't show much in my fights. So it's kind of funny that you bring that up, but it is something that I'm definitely working more intently as of recently. Mm-hmm. That fight was a few years ago, and I do remember it.
Yes.
I remember going up in weight to take that fight. I actually fought at 125, and at the time I was walking around about 120. So, but it's the amateurs, and I wanted to take any opportunity that I could get. I remember, the girl felt pretty big in the cage. Like I could feel the size difference. And she did have a little bit more experience on me as well. But I do remember being happy about that fight because I feel like I used all my weapons. I boxed, I kicked, I was able to get some takedowns and work on the ground a little bit. So, as an amateur and as someone who was so new to the sport then, I mean, back then I only had probably a year of training under my belt. I felt that I was able to kind of show that I was a complete fighter. And since then, it's just a constant work in progress and trying to build off each and every, art that's involved in MMA.
So let me ask you: is the goal just to be? Because I asked this question: is the goal if you're just happy? Like, could you be happy as an MMA fighter fighting in other leagues, which would be totally fine? Because I wanted you on based on that fight I saw on your Twitter, but because you were just like, wow, like it was like, oh my god, and or is the goal the UFC, or is the goal Bellator, or is the goal just, what is the goal? Because I think I could see you eventually there. It's my opinion. Not that I matter. But.
You broke up a little bit. I believe your question is, what is the goal? Is it to fight for big league? So it definitely is. I am happy. And I feel like if you would have asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have been like, no, my goal is to be the best. My goal is to fight in the UFC, and that's it. I won't be happy until I get there. I do think my mindset has changed a lot. It just kind of matured a little bit. And especially as a fighter, things haven't necessarily gone perfectly or as well as I thought they would. And I think that helped to change my mindset a little bit. I will say that the goal is still the same. I do want to fight for a big organization. It doesn't necessarily have to be the UFC. As of now, I would love to fight for the UFC. I would love to fight for Bellator. I would love to fight for one. So my mind is open to, other avenues. But I think the biggest difference is that I'm able to find a little bit more happiness in the now. And that's huge for me. It really is huge. And I do think that it'll be a big difference, in my journey of getting there as well, because I'm able to take a little bit more pressure off myself and just kind of enjoy the journey a little bit more, if that makes sense.
It does, and that's a great lesson. And so how were you able to come to that conclusion that I'm going to enjoy the journey a little bit more than like this pressure of constantly I need to make it, like, because that's a great lesson. So how did you get to that point in your life?
Honestly, I think losing fights. I think when I was an amateur, I had a good solid amateur career, and I just kind of had this expectation that, not that it was going to be easy, but I kind of felt like, I'm going to go 4-0, 5-0, and I'm going to get signed to the UFC, and that's it. That's what's going to happen. And it didn't happen that way. I started off my pro career 1-2, and heck, that was a very, very depressing time for me. I mean, I of course had those feelings like, maybe this sport isn't for me. Maybe I'm good, but not good enough. And, obviously all those thoughts went through my mind. And, then I got to 2-2 and then 3-2. And then I had another devastating loss. And, currently I'm sitting at a 500 record, and, my journey didn't necessarily pan out the way I thought it was going to. But I had to make a choice. I can quit and move on with my life, or I can choose to keep going. And, obviously I've chosen to keep going. And I think that, I just feel a lot less pressure. I sort of feel like, okay, things aren't as easy as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. I don't want it to be easy. And I'm okay with, kind of continuing to try to fight my way to the top and getting where I deserve. My story isn't like other people. And I think that there's a blessing in that. And I think that, yeah, man, just less pressure, and really just focused on being in the moment. That's it.
I gotta tell you, there's lessons to be learned in everything. And there's somebody that I interviewed that I think that you could take a lesson from, just my opinion. and that is an MMA fighter named, and you probably know her, Brittany Elkin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 3-7, and she said to me, I interviewed her, really nice girl, really sweet,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, I don't want to be 3-7. This
Yeah.
effing sucks. But
Yeah.
you know, she fought in Bellator. She got an opportunity of a lifetime. She won 2 of the 3 rounds, and ultimately she lost. And the PFL, you know, the rule is they don't throw elbows. So maybe if they had elbows in there, she would have been able to. So I think you should keep going with your journey, and I think your attitude is great. And so I hope you continue with it, because you seem like a really cool person, and I like your fighting style. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, it's, you know, you're a strawweight, right? So
Yeah.
the smaller fighters, you guys are so quick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are so quick, and it's like, wow. So that's good that you know, you just want to be happy and you're just going to take it in stride. And the thing is, you're at the right facility where if you could make it to the UFC, that is the place, because I believe you trained with Joanna, the former. I'm going to butcher her last name, so I'm not even going to say it. Is that true? You trained with, you say the last name.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Her. You trained
That's
with
a
her. Jace.
Yeah.
I can never say that. And you trained for her. You trained with her for that
Sorry,
fight.
you're cutting out a little. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
Every interview I've done, which is about 15, it gets a little bit better. And then,
Yeah, it's all good.
yeah, and the next one, I'm trying to get Ken Shamrock.
Oh, nice.
He said yes, but he's got people, you know? So I gotta, like, you know, go. But am I breaking up now?
A little bit, yeah. It kind of goes in and out. I heard you say that you want to get Ken Shamrock on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, he said yes, but he has people, so
People
so
that you
I have to, you know. But then I'll have you on again, and then I'm gonna have an internet payment, like it's gonna be a car payment, but that's okay. I live in the country. I live in Polk County, Florida.
I've never even heard of it.
Let me tell you something. I went out my front door yesterday, and there were about a dozen, I kid you not, a dozen chickens and ducks just roaming my front yard. And I'm like, what is it? And then the neighbors came and started chasing them. And I'm like, this is not Miami, because I lived in Miami. And I was like, yeah, this is a little different, but hell, the internet sucks, but it's quiet.
Yeah, right.
So let me ask the question, because I ask a lot of guys, and I know why guys get into it. It's usually you can't believe it, but like even Conor McGregor got picked on, George St. Pierre got picked on. So this is kind of why guys get into it a little bit, and then guys get into it later in life. I've talked to a few NFL players who retired, and then they, like, you know, that urge of competition, like Eric Anders. He's a former NFL player. So why did I guess my question is not how, but why? Why MMA? Because you probably could do a lot of things, right?
To be honest, it kind of happened accidentally. After I graduated, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. After I graduated college, I moved out to New Hampshire to accept a job, and I ended up getting fired 2 months later for smoking weed. And to be honest, I thought it was the end of the world. Like, I had no idea what I was going to do next. I mean, a couple months earlier, I literally had a huge going away party. So it was a really, really hard moment for me. I was forced to move back home with mom and dad for like the 8th time.
That's fun.
And
right?
Oh my gosh, it was just embarrassing, you know? And I remember my first week back home, I was kind of gym hopping, like just going gym to gym and trying to take my mind off things because, you know, I was always an athlete and always enjoyed working out. So I would just kind of hop around and take advantage of free day passes. And for whatever reason, the last gym I walked into was a boxing gym. And I started training, and, you know, like most people say, they just fall in love with it. You know, I fell in love with uh, just the challenge of it. You know, I remember going in, and I would watch other boxers and see the way they move, see the way they punch. And I'm like, wow, like they are so good. Like, that's amazing. I want to be able to do that. And when you first start out fighting, everything feels so awkward and just so uncomfortable. And I remember having those same feelings, but the more I showed up, you know, slowly but surely, I could see myself develop, and you kind of become addicted to watching yourself grow. And, you know, so I stuck with it, and, you know, kept showing up to the gym every day. And basically how I got involved with MMA was sort of an accident as well. I went to go visit a boxing trainer in New Jersey. His name is Anthony Rodriguez. And he took a video of me and posted it online. And a head coach at American Top Team came across this video and commented on it, and basically complimented me. And for whatever reason, I ended up reaching out to him and to try to strike up conversation and just see what could happen from it. And, you know, after a short conversation, he invited me to come visit American Top Team. And I was like, I mean, at the time I was 25 years old, you know, never trained martial arts in my life. I had about 2 years of amateur boxing experience, and I was being invited to go train MMA at literally the mecca of MMA, the best gym in the world. So, I mean,
Hell yeah.
you can call it luck. You can call it being at the right place at the right time. But I truly feel like I was meant to be here. I was meant to be on this path. And, you know, like I said, after a short conversation, I ended up flying to South Florida a couple weeks later. And here I am. I'm still here 5 years later.
Wow. So you just moved. So you just moved your. So you just decided. And where are you originally from?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay. Are you from? Because Pennsylvania is interesting. Because I have an ex-girlfriend from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it didn't end well. But she it's like I don't want to talk about it. She broke my heart, and no, I'm just kidding. So she was from like so there's Philly, and then
Yeah.
there's a lot of country like Amish. Is that where like what was your upbringing? Was it like more country setting, or was
Definitely
it?
country. I'm from about an hour away from Philly. There's a city called Reading, PA,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
I'm from outside Reading, like a suburb of Reading, PA. So, one thing that's really kind of cool about Pennsylvania, and one thing I like a lot, is that, you know, growing up, I lived 5 minutes away from a city, you know, a pretty dangerous city, but you could drive 10 minutes in the opposite direction and be in the country, you know. So Pennsylvania is very diverse, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about it. But yeah, I grew up right outside Reading, PA, about an hour from Philadelphia.
So, wow. So let me ask you something, because this is not a MMA show. I say this all the time. It's just a conversation, really, because I'm kind of a weird guy. So is this like your look? Like this is how you chill out? Like this one? Like, because I love it. I absolutely love it. The hat backwards. I think more girls need to explore the hat backwards thing.
I mean, to be honest, like I'm not very good at being girly. Like I do love to be dressed up, and I like to have my hair done and my makeup done, but
give you help on that.
training
I'm saying I'm
all
girly.
the time. Like training all the time, it's really, really hard to keep up with. You know, the reason I threw this hat on is because my hair is like, this is how my hair air dries. You know, I have no makeup on, like kind of just threw a hat over my frizzy hair. So this is what it is, man. You know, I train, I chill out, and then I train again at night. And, you know, in Florida, it's really, really hot, really humid. Right now it's raining.
I've heard
so
that.
I mean, there's pretty much nothing I can wear to be comfortable down here, but I try my best.
Especially if you have if your hair gets frizzy, and it looks like it does.
Yeah,
Florida.
we're seeing right now.
Yeah,
Frizzy hair, you know.
it's
But
like the. Are you young enough?
I wouldn't
to
have it
remember?
any other way, to be honest.
Absolutely not. It looks incredible. Do you remember Friends?
Yes, of course.
Like Monica, when Monica's hair got all
Yeah.
frizzy.
Yeah.
So I just remember that episode. It was so funny. But so let me ask you, so not right now you're fighting at
You cut out
What?
a little.
How about now?
There you are.
Hi. I hate Spectrum. Yes, I do.
I can hear you now.
I hate Spectrum. How about you? Anyway,
too.
you can hear me now?
I can.
Yeah.
You're frozen, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were frozen before too.
No,
but
I
could
can't hear you anymore.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
Now.
Well, we'll do the best with this, and I have cables coming tomorrow, so it should be better tomorrow.
Cool.
So you're fighting right now for the Icon Fighting Federation. Is that correct?
My last 3 fights were for Icon. That is correct. But I will drop some new news here if you're interested.
I am.
Okay. Well, you're pretty lucky because you're literally the first one to know. Just today, I signed a 5-fight deal with Combate Americas. So yeah, that'll be my new home for the next year or two. I'm really excited about it. I was a little unsure about, signing a multi-fight deal, but I'm excited because I feel like, they'll keep me busy. They're going to have a lot of shows in Miami in the next few years, which is local to me, which will be good. And I'm also looking to compete in the 105 and strawweight divisions.
Oh, you beat me to it. You beat me to it.
So, they have a lot of girls, a lot of good competition. I think it's a good opportunity for me to really get a lot of experience against high quality opponents. And like I said, I was a little iffy about signing a 5-fight deal. But I like the fact that they're going to keep me busy. And to be honest, I can't wait to see the type of fighter I am after these 5 fights. Everything goes well, that'll put me at 8-3.
Hell yeah.
And I'll have so much more experience under my belt. And, at that point, I feel like I'll truly be ready to test myself at the next level. So I'm excited about it.
So what is the name of the organization again?
It's Combate.
Combate.
A Latin American promotion.
After this interview, when you I'll hit you up on Twitter. Send me the link if you don't mind, and
okay.
I'll put your Twitter and Instagram in this interview as well. But so I think that's great. Do you have? Is it some sort of contract where you have?
Little.
I know I'm getting so mad. But what am I going to do?
You said it's funny because you cut out, but then when I talk, I can hear you again. So I don't know. Maybe I fixed the problem, but you said you want me to send you the link on Twitter.
Yeah, because I'm going to put it in the description.
Okay, cool.
For this, but so
yeah, you're pretty lucky. I literally have not announced this yet to anyone, so you'll be the first to do it.
Okay. And now I'll have to drop this a little sooner then. When does that start?
I actually don't know. Literally just signed the contract today. It's not a contract for a fight. It was just a contract with the promotion. So, but I should get some news really, really soon. I'm assuming I'll fight probably in August. July's right around the corner. So I'm assuming August, but I will be ready. I'll be ready whenever. So I'm hoping very, very soon.
Good. I'm very happy for you. Yeah. I'm generally happy for most people. So
cut out again.
I said I'm happy for you.
You are.
Yeah, absolutely. And so do you have to do 5 fights within a period of time? Does it say 5 fights within 2 years or 5 fights? Oh, okay.
It is 2 years or less. I'm hoping less, to be honest. Like, I just told my management, I said I want to stay as busy as possible. Heck, if I can fight 5 times in 1 year, I would prefer that, so, but one fight at a time. I've kind of learned the hard way that you got to take things as they come. And so, I signed the dotted line, and I'll be prepared for whatever happens.
So you want to you would drop to atom weight, which is 105, right?
Yeah. I've been back and forth about this. I do think that I'm more of an atom weight than a straw weight. I'm pretty undersized for the straw weight division. Like, I walk around at 120 pounds at the very most. So I don't cut weight really at all. So going into the cage at 120 pounds and going up against someone that's 130, 135, it's tough. And I'm not a huge advocate of cutting weight, but at the same time, like, I do think that I can make 105 relatively easy. And I'm just looking forward to kind of testing myself there and seeing how it feels and seeing if I want to find a home there. I haven't fought at atom weight yet because I was so focused on getting to the UFC, and the fact that they don't have an atom weight division, it really turned me off from trying that out. But
I think they will eventually. I think they will.
I hope so. Maybe in 2 years when I'm ready for it. But I do think that there's so many female atom weight badasses out there. I do think it would be a really good competitive weight class to open up in the UFC in the future. So fingers crossed. I hope to see it.
Did you ever see Angela Lee fight?
Of course. Yeah.
And then, her little sister, Victoria Lee, just made her debut. I was like, whoa.
I know. These girls are the real deal.
Like, she's 16 years old.
No.
So that's crazy. But, I think that I think the UFC will, in fact, open that up, and I think that'll be a really good opportunity. And I really think you have a great attitude. And let me ask you, when did you officially? I said you have a great attitude, and I hate Spectrum. That's what I said.
Can you repeat yourself?
I said I think you have a really great attitude.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring this closer. And I think that I'm very happy for you, because it's nice to see people that do what they're passionate about.
Sure.
And you work with your job is to become an assassin, which is pretty cool. Like,
yeah, it is pretty cool.
No, it is. It is. Like, I just saw a video, and I feel so bad. I shouldn't even say his name. Oh, who is this guy? Did you see that video of the fighter who just knocked the dude out at the bar? Joe Schilling.
Okay.
Shout out to Joe Schilling. I like you, and I hope you do the show. Just pop.
Damn.
Poor guy didn't do any. I mean, the guy didn't do anything, and it's just like maybe Joe woke up in a bad mood.
Shoot.
Yeah, you got to look it up.
I did not see that video. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Joe, it's like Joe's like, and the guy's like, hey, and then just pop, and then the guy did the freeze thing, on the ground when they do the freeze thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, when did you turn pro officially? And maybe I should know some of this stuff, but I want to ask questions so that.
That is actually a really good question. I don't know. 2 years ago, I think about 2 years ago, I made my pro debut in Biloxi, Mississippi against Hannah Guy, who recently fought for Bellator. My pro debut was in her hometown, and I got the victory.
So
I think it was about 2 years ago. I could be wrong on that.
Am I breaking up now? Because I'm just going to hold the mic.
Nope, I can hear you.
So, who are your like who are your favorite fighters? I'm assuming it's some of your teammates, but who do you look up to, and who are your favorite fighters? Who do you look forward to watching fight?
Now, I do have a lot of favorite fighters, but I will say I'm glad you said that, because my true favorites are my teammates. You know, they're people that I see every single day, the people that I sweat and grind with. You know, I have a lot of respect for these people, and it's cool to be able to meet them and understand them on a personal level, and then watch them go out there and fight. So I would say, obviously, the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, good friend of mine. Joanna, I'm a big fan of her. Dustin, big fan. Masvidal. I honestly, there's so many. I could continue to go down the line and name almost every single person in my gym. I'm constantly inspired by these fighters every single day. So I got a lot of good people to look up to, you know.
Kobe left that gym, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I won't ask you about that then. But, I mean, but honestly, it was kind of an act, a little bit. I think everybody knows that is a little bit Ric Flairish.
Yeah. From what I know and from what people say, he's actually a nice guy. You know, what he does with his business is his business. I just know he's no longer at the gym, and that's about it.
Yeah, I guess he took it too far, or maybe whatever his situation is. So, what are your, and can I just say something? I really think we're going to see you one day in Bellator or the UFC. I really believe that. You know, I'm not a big shot. I'm just a homeless dude. I'm not homeless, obviously, but see, look, I got a wall. See, that's a wall.
Yeah, you even have a lamp.
I have this is what they do in podcasting. You have a lamp, you have a bookshelf.
You did cut out though.
Oh, I said this is what they do in podcasting. They have a lamp.
Yeah.
They have a bookshelf. The picture's too small, but that's Elvis, Humphrey, Bogart, Marilyn Monroe, and
Awesome.
James Dean. And Marilyn Monroe in that picture is looking at James Dean like she just wants to devour him. I'm just saying, it's a bit much, but I put it up there.
I love it.
So, yeah, but I used to watch, I watched UFC a lot, but I used to watch it like religiously because I got I had a little habit. I started betting, and I lost, I got from 0 to 1,600. So it was play money to me, and then I lost 1,600 on Woodley when he lost to Usman.
Oof.
And then I was like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. So, what's your prediction, if you have any, for the Conor Poirier fight?
Dustin, KO.
Really?
Second round.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's a teammate of yours. Yeah. You have to say
Pretty
that.
similar to the first fight, I think.
Yeah, and he's a teammate of yours, right?
Yes.
You just said that earlier, so you have to say that.
I mean, to be honest,
I'm just kidding.
Even if he wasn't my teammate, I think I would still pick him. I do. And I know that sounds biased, but
No, I think
I do see him train. I mean, I literally watch him spar, and I feel like Dustin I don't even know if he's hit his prime yet. I mean, I truly think he is still getting better and better and better. And I don't know if people can say the same about Conor.
No.
And I think like Dustin loves to fight. I mean, he loves to train and he loves to fight. And, you know, I think he wants it more. I think he's willing to do more. I think he's truly willing to die in there. And I think he shows that every time he steps in the cage. And I don't think Conor has that. Not anymore.
No, I think I don't know if being way too wealthy has anything to do with it, but because some fighters excel when they're wealthy. There's, Lennox Lewis was wealthy and he did fine, but but maybe Connor just got too wealthy. Like even like how Jake Paul spoke to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The old Connor would have went crazy, and this new Connor's like, fair play, fair play.
Yeah.
I'm like, fair play? You flew on a plane and beat the shit out of a bus because some dude smacked your friend, and this dude called your wife a four. I'm not saying she's a four. She's a beautiful woman, but I'm just saying. And he's like, fair play.
I actually didn't hear about that drama.
Oh, Jake Paul wanted to fight Connor, of course. But, and Connor said no. But, he said all this terrible stuff to piss him off. And Connor's like, fair play. I was like, fair play? I was like, wow, he's really probably just afraid to get in trouble again.
I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
Do you know what I think? It's just my opinion.
To be honest, I could care less. I'm just looking forward to Dustin winning this trilogy fight. And
no, you know what I just said?
What?
I just said, do you know what I think? And the timing was so funny because right after that you said I could care less. And I know that's, and it's like, oh no, I know that's not what she meant, but it's so funny. You're like, I could care less.
Or you say that if that makes you feel any better, it cut out.
I think Dustin is probably one of the best boxers in the UFC. And if he fought a YouTuber, I think he would destroy him.
I agree.
But his boxing skills are amazing. And who are your direct coaches, or who are your coach? Shout out to your coaches. Like who are some of your coaches that you work with on a daily or day-to-day basis?
I would say that I have the ability to learn from literally almost every single coach at the gym, which is incredible. But I would say the coaches that I learned the most from, Artem Levin, who is a world champion kickboxer. He is a new coach at our gym. I learn a lot from him. Mike Brown, who is considered, one of, if not the best coach in the world. Steve Mako, a legend in wrestling. I would say those guys I probably learned the most from, but I also learned from my teammates. That's one of the great things about being at ETT is I have an unlimited amount of resources, and we have probably 100 fighters who are just as knowledgeable as our coaches.
Sure.
And so that I learned from everyone.
So what is your training schedule like? Like, is it Mondays wrestling, Tuesdays jiu-jitsu, kickboxing? Like, what's it? I mean, what's your schedule like? And then what is your favorite art to practice, and what is your least favorite?
So my schedule, we do have like pro training every morning at the gym, and this morning is supposed to be the hardest day of the week. It's Mako's live wrestling class. So just for example, like this morning at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I did some jiu-jitsu drills, and then Mako's wrestling class is at 11:30 and it goes till about 1. So from 10 to 1, I was in the gym doing drills and doing live wrestling. Tuesday and Thursday are sparring days. Wednesday, I do live grappling. Fridays are jiu-jitsu days. So, we have pro training every single morning. At night, I tend to do more drilling or strength and conditioning. And there's always more in between there. But what is my favorite and least favorite? I don't think I have a least favorite, to be honest with you. I enjoy all of it. I really do. I enjoy all of it. My favorite, I would say either boxing, because it's my first love, or wrestling.
And
boxing or wrestling are my favorites.
And those are the two that they say all the time. Like, if a child, this is what I hear. Maybe you tell me, two you're the pro. They say if you're going to get into any type of fighting to learn how to protect yourself, the two arts you should learn is boxing and wrestling, because then you got your ground game, and then, well, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying boxing is better than Muay Thai, but this is what I hear.
Tough question. I mean, I would have more questions like, are you training because you want to learn how to fight, or is it specifically for self-defense purposes?
Self-defense, that's my question. Like, you're just a kid in school.
Honestly, I'd probably say jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Probably.
Interesting.
I probably would. I'd probably say jiu-jitsu. Because I feel like in jiu-jitsu, like, say I am not a fighter. I'm a normal girl who's 120 pounds. If I were to encounter a strange man on the street, even if I'm a solid boxer, there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to be able to beat him in boxing or hurt him. I mean, I think I could, honestly, but if I'm an average person, with average boxing skills, like, there's a good chance, that guy throws one punch, he can knock me out cold, or he just grabs onto me and I can't throw any punches at all. Even wrestling is obviously very good, but I would say jiu-jitsu, because I feel like jiu-jitsu kind of levels out the size difference.
Yes.
At least to an extent. If I were to, fight a grown-ass man who is strong, I feel like I have a better chance of being able to, even if he's on top of me, I have a better chance of being able to sweep him or take his back and choke him out. Yeah, I would say jiu-jitsu. I would.
Have you ever had any situations in the street where, because you're a smaller girl, according to yourself. Yeah. I'm not saying that. And have you had any situations where someone doesn't know who you are, to give you a problem, or someone tried to steal your purse? Or, because I see videos of that stuff sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Like, this guy's getting choked out by this woman MMA fighter.
I've never been in a situation like that, but I kind of wish.
I do too.
Try.
I might hire someone to do that now to you. Just like try to steal a purse, because I want to see that too.
I mean, honestly, I shouldn't say that, because I don't condone violence. I don't want to fight in the street, but
I'm kidding. I know.
Part of me does kind of wish somebody would try, because it wouldn't end well,
Yeah, because you train with dudes, right? You're training with dudes all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I train with dudes. I train with, some of the best fighters in the world, girls in the UFC, girls that are bigger than me, better than me. So
you literally train with the best fighters in the world, like literally the best fighters ever. Some of the fighters you fight with are the best fighters, you would say, if you had to go, like Anthony, I don't know if Anthony Smith is at your gym. I don't think he is. But, somebody was saying how, he goes, I'm not the baddest guy on the planet. And then Joe Rogan said, yeah, but he's like at least top 100. So you got some guys in there. You got guys in there that...
Yeah, I train with some pretty bad people. And I mean that, like, some bad chicks.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. Like, if you watch that Joe Schilling video and you just see a regular guy versus a trained killer, that's what it will look like most times. And I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. Yeah, definitely gotta check that out.
And there's this video of this guy, used to be in the UFC, and this former NFL player smacks a woman. And then this guy, Rogers, his first name, I don't remember his last name. And next thing you know, you just see the NFL player, you just see him knocked out.
Damn.
Because he apparently headbutted him, and he's only 5'8", 5'9", and the football player's like 6'1", 6'2". And I just love that stuff because I'm like a little boy. Like I'm like a little boy. I love the fact that like there's stuff out there to equal the playing field.
Yeah.
So, um, like I'm a kid. Like comic books, like Superman versus Green Lantern. Like I love that stuff.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, like this is great stuff. Like you could beat the
You would
crap out
probably
of.
really like to do an interview with my boyfriend. He loves comics, loves anime. He actually just won a fight this past weekend in Bellator. He beat Miles Jury.
Really?
And I think he's going to be fighting for a title soon. So that might be someone that you wanna get on here.
When's he gonna fight for the title? Do you know? Do you know when he's gonna? I said do you know when he's gonna fight for the title, or his next fight is?
No news yet. Like I said, he literally just fought on Friday.
What's his name?
Sydney Outlaw.
Denny Outlaw. Shout out to
Sydney
Outlaw.
Yep. Outlaw. Yep.
Can I look him up real quick?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you'll see some good stuff.
I don't have my own Jamie, so you know who I'm talking about, right? For Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Sydney Outlaw. Let me type in MMA.
He is pretty incredible. He
the gun.
After this fight, he should be ranked like number 4 in the world, number 3. But yeah, he's the real deal. He fought some extremely high level competition and.
Well, I gotta say, as a shorter man, I'm very happy that you're dating him, 5'8". So that shout out to all short guys. We can still get pretty girls. So shout out. But he's also a killer, and
he's also a killer.
Yeah, he's also a killer, and he looks like he's in incredible shape. So
yeah.
Yeah, so just don't think you're short, fellas. That's gonna cut it. We gotta work out. We don't have to be assassins though, but we definitely want to work out. So he went. So when was his fight? Let me see. He won Bellator 261. Oh, it was a couple days ago. It was 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what I wanted to say about you? You know what I liked? I hate this word clout. I hate it so much because now it's become like you're a clout chaser, and I don't like the word. But what's that?
I said it's like a dirty word now. Almost.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I told Jorgen De Castro, who's a UFC heavyweight, I told him I'd rather talk to you than to Tom Cruise, and it was true because he has this great story. But I think you got Jason Knight. He's getting a little bit of clout, if you will, and you fought on his undercard on the 5th on the IF on I guess it was called it was called Icon Fighting Federation 5, right? Or IFF 5, is that what it was?
Yep.
You weren't successful in your endeavor, but that's okay. I think just doing these things and getting your name out there and
you cut out a little bit there.
I said just getting your name out there and doing these things are all positives. Mm-hmm. They're all positives. Like I think you're just I think just being involved in this sport I think is I think you're going to get to that next level. I don't know why I have this feeling. And now that I know you have this boyfriend who's he must give you advice and and now you got a guy like that in your corner like all the time.
Yeah.
Just telling you, and I'm sure he believes in you.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling.
It's funny that you say that because I was just talking to him about this today, and he's got about 10 years in this sport, and after 10 years of consistent training, you're essentially considered a master. And sometimes I bother him like with questions about jujitsu, and I'm like, hey, when they do this, like, what do I do? And why am I getting stuck here? But like most of the things that he teaches me are all about mentality. And very often when I ask him specific questions about training, he just comes back with a simple answer, like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep training, just keep showing up. And I appreciate that a lot. Like, he doesn't overcomplicate it. And I think it's helped me a lot. Like, he has a very kind of tunnel vision mindset,
which is great.
He's someone that I swear you would really, really like to talk to, because
I will. If you
he's been homeless. He, when he was first starting out, like, he was sparring with guys like Edson Barbosa, and
wow,
constantly coming in as a training partner, and never really got the push that he deserved. And throughout his whole career, he was fighting killers, and the UFC never called him, and he kind of had so many reasons to get discouraged or to quit even. And look at where he is now, like, getting ready to fight for a title. And I truly think he is one of, if not the best lightweight in the world. So that tunnel vision mindset has really, really, really helped me a lot, especially.
That was sweet.
Especially with all the adversity I faced early on in my career. Like, it's been hard, and it's definitely made me doubt myself, but I'm confident in my skills. Like, I do truly believe that, like you said, that I'm meant to get there. It's just, I think my path to getting there is going to look a little different. And to be honest, I'm happy for that, because I feel like I have so much more to not prove, but I have so much more to show that when I get there eventually, I'm going to have so much inspiration to give, because of the adversity that I faced. And I think it's going to make it that much sweeter.
When you get there, will you come back on?
For sure. Yes, I will.
And I want to ask you a question. First of all, how long have you been dating Sydney?
Good question.
You're bad with dates.
I am so bad, but yeah, you noticed already. You know what? It was right before my pro debut.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know when that was either, but I think it was about 2 years ago.
Okay. So,
or a little.
So you met him at the gym? You met him at...
I did, yes.
So don't get mad at me, right? So here's the thing. Just an open thought, right? I wish you nothing but happiness with this man. And I think it's going to work out. But if it didn't work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, unless I'm crazy, like I have a crush on a female fighter, and I'm not. I have no shot at all. But a regular guy, I said I have a crush on a female fighter, but I have no shot at all. But the thing is, a regular, like, if it didn't work out, a regular guy you might find boring, right? Like,
I mean, to be honest, like, since I have been a fighter, I don't think I haven't dated much, but I don't think I ever dated a guy that wasn't involved with fighting somehow.
Of course.
But
yeah, you're around that all the time.
I know women who are. I know women who date non-fighters, and I think it's good. I think it brings a sense of balance to their life, and I think that's important. So, everyone's different. Like, some fighters can't imagine being with someone who doesn't understand and can't help them. But I think that guys who are non-fighters, could bring a lot to the table. But I think they would have to be pretty open to, learning about the sport and just be willing to kind of make those sacrifices with their partner, because there is a lot of sacrifice involved, and it's not easy.
And that's good advice for anybody. Like, show interest in your partner's life, whether she's a fighter or a fireman. Like, yes, show some sort of interest. So that's great. And I definitely want to interview your boyfriend. And let me ask you kind of a silly question. like, because you're both fighters, right? And this isn't like, does date night turn into like, it's supposed to be just like a regular date night, and then all of a sudden it turns into like, honey, this is how you do, and this is how you do the, like, does it turn into like an exhibition?
To be you, we never do that.
Really?
And I kind of wish we did, because I'm pretty scrappy. Like, I would love to play fight, but he doesn't. And that's okay. That's okay with me. And I think
Maybe he's
like
tired.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he works really, really, really hard. We both work really hard, but I do think like when we get home, we do try to switch our minds off of fighting. And he's helped me do this. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't like that. I was, fighting was on my mind 24/7. I would, like I said, I would come home and ask him, hey, this happened to me. Like, and I would show him video and be sort of obsessed with it, you know, and he would kind of tell me to stop. And at first it would make me mad. Like, why aren't you interested in my career? Like, why don't you want to help me? But, you know, as time went on, I became a little bit more mature in the sport and more mature as a fighter. I think I really kind of learned to adapt his mindset in that, you know, we train hard when we're in the gym. When we come home, it's not about fighting. You know, this is time for us to relax and reset and refocus so we can be 100% the next day.
So how many, oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So how many hours so you're training what, 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
How many hours per week, you said?
No, how many days do you train per week?
6.
So you're training on Saturdays?
Yes. Sometimes Sunday.
Someday, okay. And is it about 4 to 5 hours a day? What is it? It just depends?
It definitely depends. But yeah, I would say about that on average. The thing with me is like, every fighter is different, like I said, but you know, there's some fighters, especially at the highest level, who kind of only train when they're in camp.
Which
or only train hard when they're in camp, you know, consistently. But you know, for me and for a lot of other like, I'm not saying all fighters do that. There's some fighters who train hard all the freaking time, but I am one of those fighters who trains consistently. I have the luxury of living 5 minutes down the road from American Top Team, and because I started the sport so late, I kind of have catching up to do, and I'm okay with that. You know, for the past 5 years, I've basically been in one long training camp, and I'm still there, you know? So yeah, I train consistently pretty much all the time, but that's not to say that I'm sparring every single week. And
right.
You know, so things do change. You know, I'm not training 3 times a day, every single day, but I am training consistently all the time.
You know, I have a couple of thoughts, because you said you're friends with Amanda Nunes. And I think that Amanda Nunes probably goes the rest of her career without any defeats. That's just my thoughts. However, I don't, with Ronda Rousey, and I don't know what your thoughts are.
Cut out a little.
I said, well, with Ronda Rousey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
She got a lot of credit for the women's MMA, and that's okay, that's fine. But I was a huge Gina Carano fan. And now I know Gina she's not into the fighting as much anymore, and she's probably older. But I would love to see Gina Carano versus Amanda Nunes. I know it's, like I said, I'm like a 12-year-old boy. Like, who would win in a fight? Superman or Batman? Well, we know the answer to that one, but Superman or Hulk? Actually, there was a comic, and Superman did beat Hulk, but geek alert.
Like it.
So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a dream. And I highly doubt that would ever happen.
It's not going to happen.
Amanda would kill her, so I don't think you want to see that happen.
You think Amanda would kill her?
Yeah, I do. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I don't know her personally. I just really... I thought, here's a woman... And shout out.
It would be pretty legendary, though. I will say that.
Well, here's why I like her.
It would be pretty legendary.
Well, here, yeah, it would be, and here's why I like her. she fought, and shout out to Cyborg, no disrespect to her, but she fought a Cyborg who was younger, and also, no offense, Cyborg, but she was on PEDs. So, and she lost. I'm talking about Gina. She lost, but it was, she gave her a little bit of a tussle. And so obviously Amanda is just naturally a beast. And I say that as a compliment. And yeah, she probably would kill Gina Carano, but I just think that Gina Carano, everyone gives Ronda Rousey all this credit, and I just feel like Gina Carano actually deserves a lot of credit as well. She just didn't go over to the UFC.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so what lessons, really quick, and if you let's say they grabbed you and said, hey, listen, we want you to go speak at a high school. I want you to speak at a high school, not a junior high because they're not going to pay attention, but a high school to young girls and boys. What lessons would you, if you had to give a 10-minute speech, because that's a long time. I've done hours because I was a stand-up comic. And man, when you suck on stage, you get used to it real quick. But it's just like whatever. But if you had to go 10 minutes, what lessons would you say to young girls or young boys or what if you had to, talk about, things?
I would probably talk about overcoming adversity. And I know that's simple and maybe cliche, but I mean, I could tell stories for days about how I thought my life was over and I thought I should quit and, nobody believed in me or whatever the case is. I had no money to buy food or...
Doesn't that suck when you have no money to buy food?
It
sucks.
It does. Or I had no place to live, or I didn't know, I had a fight and I was eating ramen noodles because it's all I could afford, So like, I don't know, man. I think overcoming adversity is something that isn't really talked about enough, especially growing up. I think it's more common now, but growing up, like, it wasn't really a big topic of discussion, especially in school. But I feel like it's probably one of the most important skills that you can kind of conquer in life, is being able to just get through the hardship.
Did your family ever tell you, like, quit this dream of yours? Like, and it's okay, you don't have to say who, but...
What was the question? Did my family ever...
I'm going to kill Spectrum. But I said, did your family ever tell you, like, you know what, I think you enough with this dream of being a fighter? It's okay if they did. That doesn't make them bad people. It's just like, I'm just... No, they never did, huh? Okay, that's good.
I think they have thought it. They might even still now, to be honest. I mean, I certainly think they probably feel like I won't get there. Maybe. I mean, I know they believe in me, and I do think that they know that I have talent, but, they don't really understand the sport. And I'm sure them, like me, thought that the beginning of my career was going to turn out better. So I'm sure that they have some hesitation and some reservation, but I'm glad that they don't tell me that, because it would probably be... No, but honestly, I mean, even when I did get in the sport, like, my family didn't want me to do it, and I'm very close with them. So it was kind of hard to not have their support in the beginning, but the further I went and the more opportunities that came my way, I think they really started to understand, like, why I pursued this and why I love it. And they can see that I love what I do. I'm very, very passionate about it. So I think the fact that I'm happy makes them happy.
And your self-confidence must have just went through the roof, right? Like, knowing how to fight, just like being, I mean, you tell me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm sure, like, your self-confidence is just, it's higher than when it's got to be better than when you got fired that day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's a good point. And I've had some tough fights and tough losses, and that is 100%, no doubt about it. I have more confidence than I did before I started fighting.
We'll wrap this up because I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I'm having a really good time talking to you.
Me too.
I mean, just me and my lamp and Elvis, and but yeah, who you could say either amateur or pro because I have a list of your fighters.
You cut out.
I said, so sorry, so sorry. No, this never happened when I lived in New York, but maybe the chickens are pecking at the wires. But who hit you, opponent-wise, or even in the gym? Who has hit you the hardest, either amateur, pro, or in sparring?
You said who hit me the hardest?
Yeah, who in practice, in sparring, in a match, in amateur or pro?
I would say, I mean, it was either by a guy. I mean, because a lot of guys have hit me in the face.
What?
But the one that comes to mind is one time I sparred Kayla Harrison. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but she's a beast. You don't know who it is? She's the current PFL champion at 155 pounds.
Oh, I think I've asked her to do the show, but she has not responded. But that's okay.
She's a beast. And she was very, very new to MMA and new to our gym. And she came in, and I think they just kind of figured like, oh, we'll throw me, Kayla, in with her. Like, she'll be okay. The other girls knew. But I think, like, because she was so new, she didn't really have, confidence or control over her body at that point. Right. And so she, like, kind of fought scared, sparred scared and sparred out of fear. And she didn't really know me either. So for all she knew, I was trying to take her head off. But she hit me with a body kick so hard. It knocked the wind out of me. Like, I dropped. And that's the one that comes to my mind. Okay. Well, hey, because I listen to all these other podcasts of fighters and who's hit who hardest, and Chael Sonnen talks about Michael Bisping hit him so hard. Yeah. And so I was just kind of curious. I mean,
that. Nice sink, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes' wife, her name's Nina. She kicks really hard. Like, I've been dropped by a few of her leg kicks. Heck, Joanna has a hard jab. Like, her jab hurts. I don't know, man. I've been hit by a lot of people. Amanda Ribas has some really, really strong kicks. Yeah, I'm definitely tough.
So do you have an idea? So when I ask fighters this question, they say it's when my body, but you don't have a plan like I want to be out by 35 or 37.
I don't. No, I don't have a plan. I used to have a plan and it all got messed up. So I don't have a plan anymore. I'm just doing my best every day to be better, be a better fighter, be a better person, enjoy the journey. The plan is obviously to win every single fight in this Combate contract. The plan is still to go to the UFC or a big organization and have a successful career. But aside from that, man, I want to fight as long as I'm healthy and as long as it makes sense for me.
Yeah. And I love ink, and this is mine. And,
oh, cool. That's actually really
yeah, I got another one up here, but I love ink. I'm just afraid to go too low. But I like how you're just chilling on the chair. That's awesome. But I had my last question, but this is it's not a question, it's a thought. It's my final thought. I think that you're in a great place in life, right? Because you're still very young. Your boyfriend, who you care about. I was going to say the L word, but I won't put pressure on you. But, he's doing his thing in Bellator. He's in your corner. You're at the best gym. So now it's really up to you, right? So It's like, and this is a good lesson for people. Like, your life is in your hands now.
Yeah.
If you want to make it to the UFC, you got to, I wouldn't say destroy, but you got to, you know, these next fights, and then get noticed. You know, and then you never know. You maybe make it on the Contender Series or the Ultimate Fight, or whatever, or Tuesday nights with Dana White, whatever. He's got so many shows now.
No, you're right, for sure.
Yeah, so there's so many things you can do, and I really think you're going to get there. So it was really nice meeting you. I know you was nice meeting me. I could tell you liked me a lot.
I really did enjoy this.
Yeah, no, you're cool. You're cool. I try not to curse in front of women, but you are cool as shit. You probably curse all the time, right?
I do. I wish I didn't. I do have a bit of a potty mouth. I try to be a lady.
I try to be a lady with my hat on back in my first. No, but you are a lady. There's no definition of what a lady is. You know, as long as you're a good person and you're not hurting anybody, everybody do what they want. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's actually great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I've learned so much in my journey, and just like, you know, having my dad and now he's gone, and it's like, you know, I wish, you get perspective for what really matters. So
that happens when you get old, right? Man, my perspective is, I get it now.
And wait till you hit 40, and then, you know, you'll eventually, like, you'll because 30,
you're
right?
So wise. Like, I get it. You know, age really does come with some wisdom.
Yeah. Like, I was talking to Vince Pichel, and he was saying, like, he said, when I was younger, I always wanted to fight. And now he's like, I'm aware that I always want to fight, so I don't fight because I have more to lose. So it's like, you know, it's maturity. Yeah,
sure.
Joe Schilling forgot that day. And I'm scared to death of him. So, hey, Joe. But thank you so much, and I'll keep in touch with you after this. Awesome. And I really appreciate this. So, hold on one second, okay? I'm gonna stop the. Let me see. 1 second. Let me see. So I'm gonna stop the recording, and then, so this is Kayla Hracho.
Hey, you got it.
Hey. So thank you for doing the podcast, and I'll put her descriptions in the description. I'll put her Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz in her thing. So stay right there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that was a very lovely person named Kayla Hracho. H is silent. And I had a really good conversation. She's cool as shit. All these people are so cool. So, all right, hope you enjoyed that interview. I think this is a future Bellator UFC fighter that I just spoke to, and that's why I wanted to have her on. So, and her boyfriend is Sydney Outlaw, and he's 16-4, and I'm going to try to have him on the podcast. And he just won in Bellator 3 days ago, I believe. And she's saying that he's probably going to eventually fight for the championship, and she clearly loves him or cares about him because she called him the best in his weight class, and so that shows that you know, she clearly is a very supportive person, which is important to have in your life. So everybody, take care. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. This is Patrick Argiro, aka Cousin Pat. Bye bye.